Today's video is for anybody out there who is getting started into makeup artistry, is thinking about getting started into makeup artistry, or if you are already a makeup artist and you just want a little bit of motivation for 2022. Today's video is going to be my 10 tips for getting started in the makeup industry or getting started as a makeup artist and how to become one. So I have been qualified for about 6 or 7 years now, and I've been doing makeup for full-time for 4 years now. So I just wanted to just share a few tips and things that were just never around when I first started. I don't know everything and I don't claim to know everything. I'm still learning all the time. I just want to share some of my experiences and my tips if you are just getting started, because it can be a little bit daunting and a little bit overwhelming sometimes. I really want to make this into a series as well of like all different tips and things like that. So if you've got any questions or you think of a topic that we can talk about, then let me know down in the comments. So we're going to get straight into it, and I've really taken this seriously today because I've actually made notes. I've got 2 pages of notes. So yeah, I hope you find some of these helpful. Tip number 1 when you are just getting started is to just practice, practice and practice. Even if you've done your qualification already, if you've been to college or you've been to do your course, there's still so many techniques and styles to learn, and you'll pick up so much more like along the way on your journey. And even I, after 6 or 7 years, there's still things that I want to learn and techniques and things that I still need to work on. So the more you practice, the better you will get. You also don't always know what the client's going to ask for when they walk through the door as well. So the different styles that you can practice when you first start out, the better, because then you've got a little bit more confidence if somebody asks you for something a little bit different from maybe what you learnt when you were doing your course and things like that. If you do feel that maybe some styles you need a bit more work on, then just keep on practicing them. Don't give up and think that you can't do things either, because you can. You just need to keep on doing them and you will get much better at them. So the more that you practice, the better you will get, the more confidence you'll gain as well. And I think that's one of the most important tips. I think that's why I chose that as number 1. Okay, tip number 2 when you're first starting out is don't overbuy for your kit. And you're first starting out as a makeup artist, there are so many things makeup wise that you're going to need for your kit. I think I will do another separate video on this for the series about building your kit. My kit was really small when I first started out, but it was fine and I managed to do everything that I needed to do with that kit. I've built it up over years now and my kit is very extensive. I've got so much. When you're starting from scratch and you've got nothing, but then you need to build this kit so you can do all different types of clients' makeup, it can be a little bit overwhelming and a little bit daunting and very expensive. So do your research for one and try not to overbuy. Don't make sure you've got the basics. Like if you've already got a neutral eyeshadow palette, you don't need another one. Trust me when I say it. If you've already got a colourful palette, you don't need another one. I will go a little bit more in depth into this topic, but with base products as well, I just got like the basic colours that I needed, like a lighter shade, deeper shades, couple in between, and then I just mix them all together for all my different skin tones. Don't go into buying your kit thinking you need every shade for every product or every kind of eyeshadow palette. So try and just get the basics first. Do your research on what you need. I did so much research before I started to buy anything. It's going to be expensive. It's not going to be cheap to start your own kit, but once you've got your initial products, then you can start building slowly, and once you've got them, you've got them then, and they will last a really long time. So tip number 3 is to price for your worth and don't do any work for free. When you've paid all that money to go to college, to do a course, to get a qualification, to pay for your insurance, to do clients, to pay for all this makeup so you can do your clients, don't then think, just because I haven't got a lot of experience, I need to do this for free. At least charge for your time and your products that you've used, and then once you get a little bit more confident, you can put your prices up a little bit. I think where you're based and your location really does depend on price, so make sure that you do your research when you're first starting out, and maybe like ring a few other makeup artists to see how much they charge, or ask them how much they charge for a full face around your area, and then you've got some kind of idea of how much people are charging who are more experienced or who've been doing it more longer than you. Please don't feel like just because you haven't got that experience yet that you need like to charge a really low price for what you do, because if you weren't good enough then you wouldn't have gotten your qualification in it. So make sure that you're at least charging for the products that you're using and your time as well. Step number 4 is creating social media accounts for your business. So I actually did not do this until I think in the middle of one of the lockdowns. So I've always had a Facebook business page. That was mainly where I shared all my things, but I don't really like Facebook that much. I never really like go on Facebook. In the lockdown I decided to create a separate Instagram page, and please somebody tell me why I don't do this soon. So I share all my pictures on there now. I feel like it's a lot easier for someone to just go on and all your pictures are there, whereas on Facebook you have to keep on scrolling, and I do feel like not a lot of people use Facebook anymore. So I've found so much benefit since I started my client page. It really helps when it comes to messages as well. So a lot of my clients will just message through my client page where I don't have as many followers on there, whereas my main page I get so many like spammy messages and that as well, so it's hard to like scroll through and find like client messages on there. So if they can just message on that page then it's so much easier. I feel like everything's all there in one. Even if you don't do social media at all, or you don't have any personal pages on like Instagram or Facebook, try and make just work pages for that, because I do find a lot of people are finding me now through social media. I mean, people don't share like flyers and things like that anymore, or leaflets. Everything's all online now. So having your business page on an Instagram or Facebook, it's like free advertising really. So that is one thing that I would definitely recommend. So tip number 5 is all about content really. So try and take pictures as much as you can of your work, because the more pictures that you've got, the more that you can share and the more that people can see like how good you are and what you're doing. And when you're first starting out and you've just done like your first few clients, you might feel like you haven't got a lot of content to share. So don't be afraid of re-uploading like older pictures of clients that you've done a few weeks ago, or maybe even pictures that you've taken during your course and things like that. I do it all the time. If I feel like I haven't got like a recent client photo that I can share, I'll just re-upload another one like that I already uploaded like maybe a few weeks ago. Or you could upload the same photo and just a close-up of the eyes or something. The more photos that you take of your work, the more it adds to your portfolio as well, so people can see all the different makeup that you can do. And it also will show your progress as well, like over the months and years that you'll be doing it. I look back at the makeup that I've done like a few years ago to now, you'll be able to see my progress as well. So try and take as many pictures as you can when you're first starting out, just so clients can really see what you can do. If you've only got a couple of pictures on like your Instagram or your Facebook and clients are looking for a makeup artist, they might want to see a few more. So yeah, the more pictures that you can take of your work, the better, and you'll also be able to track your progress as well. So tip number 6 is all about when you're booking your clients for appointments, and that is to make sure that you give yourself enough time. So at the moment I give myself an hour per appointment. That gives me a chance to do a whole full face and clean all my kit and my brushes in between clients as well. So when you're first starting off, maybe give yourself an hour and a half or something, because you'll find that it takes you a little bit longer to start with, and then once you get used to doing more and more faces, then you'll get a lot quicker. It depends as well what your client wants when they come in too. So if they want like a cut crease or something like that, it will probably take you a lot longer than if somebody wanted just a soft glam full face. So just give yourself enough time so you're not rushing through clients, because they would prefer you to take your time and to get everything right. Tip number 7 is to just maintain and look after your kit and your brushes, because they are going to get used like more than your own makeup and your own brushes. You're going to be constantly using them all the time, and the more you look after them, the longer that they will last. Especially when it comes to brushes and tools, they are going to be like the most important thing to you. So I've got brushes in my makeup kit which I had when I first started out, and they will last if you do look after them and you wash them properly and you maintain them properly. And when it comes to your kit as well, obviously makeup's going to run out eventually, but make sure that you're looking after all your compacts so they last as long as possible, so you can use as much of the product, hopefully all of the product, that you can. And if you've got like any bags, a trolley, or anything that you keep your makeup with, your whole kit is just going to be so important, and the best you maintain it is gonna stop you from having to rebuy more bags and trolleys because the wheels fell off or the zips have broken, or new brushes because the handles have broke or the bristles have come out. So just try and maintain your kit as best as you can. Remember, you are only as good as your tools, and two, it's a lot of expensive items to buy at the start, so the more you maintain them and the more you look after them, the longer they will last. Tip number 8 is all about appointments as well, and that is to listen to your clients and what they want and how they want their makeup, like as much as you can. Nobody is gonna want their makeup exactly the same, so just get an idea of what they really want, like what kind of lashes they want. Do they like really big lashes? Do they like really natural lashes? What kind of base do they like for coverage? A bit more medium, a bit more dewy. So just ask as many questions as you can so you can really get an idea of what they actually want, rather than just kind of thinking that you know what they want. Asking as many questions as possible is going to help you give them a really good service and exactly the makeup that they wanted when they came in. Tip number 9 is all about networking really. This is something that I need to work on a little bit more as well. But so when you're first starting out and maybe you're trying to boost your client list, try and introduce yourself to like local salons that maybe don't have a makeup artist already, or try and introduce yourself to other makeup artists around your area, because you'll find that one, other makeup artists in your area, they may not be able to do like certain dates, so they may think, oh well, I can't do that date, but here's somebody else that I know in the local area that does makeup, and then pass your number on. I do that quite often. I don't know a lot of other makeup artists personally, but I know people in my local area, so if I can't do a certain date, I'll give them the name of somebody else that I know does makeup around my area. Also, when I first started out, that gave me a little bit more of a boost was that I went into different salons that didn't have a makeup artist already. I was just doing like mobile appointments at first, and then a couple of hair salons got in touch with me and said, I've got a client that wants their makeup done this night, can you come into the salon and do their makeup? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So I ended up getting quite a lot of work to start with through the different salons. That was a really good help for me. Also, this has happened to me a few times now where I've got a wedding booked in, but you can't, there's so many people in the wedding party that want their makeup doing, you can't physically do that amount of people in that morning, so there would need to be 2 makeup artists. So then you can recommend other people, or other makeup artists can recommend you as well. So it's all about networking really, like starting in your local area, and then once word of mouth gets around about you, then you'll soon see your client list build. When you're first starting out, I think like a social media and word of mouth is 2 of the best ways to get your name out there. So yeah, try and network with people in your industry, in the beauty industry, hair and makeup as well, just in your local area, and network with them a little bit, or just introduce yourself to them, because you never know what might come out of it. Tip number 10, which is my final tip when you're just starting out, is to just remember that it does take time to build yourself up. I did makeup and I also had another job as well for I think the first 3.5 years before I went full time. So don't be put off if it's not snowballing you straight away. Just work at it, practice, get your name out there, and you will soon be on the road to being a successful makeup artist. I really hope that these tips helped some of you. Let me know if they did down in the comments, and I'm really looking forward to starting this as a new series. Make sure you leave all your social links as well down there so we can follow each other on them as well. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week in my next one. Bye!